Questions about Gabby Petito's final moments and what her fiance Brian Laundrie did in the days after her death. But tonight, we know for certain Brian is no longer alive. The FBI says remains they found yesterday in a small Northport park belong to Brian. Agents say dental records helped them to identify the remains.
And just moments before the FBI's announcement, detectives were seen going into the Laundrie's Northport home. And even after this late hour, the investigation continues at Myakkahatchee Creek Environmental Park, where those remains were found.
ABC Action News reporter Julie Salomon is live outside of the park. Julie, what have you noticed out there?
Well, Jameson, right now it is quiet outside this park in Northport. Last night we saw numerous law enforcement agencies coming and going throughout the evening, but the FBI was clear. This remains an open and active investigation. The FBI announced Thursday that human remains found at the Myakkahatchee Creek Environmental Park belong to Brian Laundrie. Authorities spent more than a month searching the nature park in Sarasota County and the nearby Carlton Reserve looking for any sign of Laundrie. His parents reported him missing in September, saying he went on a hike and never returned.
He left, he walked out the door, and Chris has said to me, I wish I could have stopped him, but I couldn't. You know, he's 22 years old, he's walking out the door. So, yeah, they suspected that he may have hurt himself. And whether or not that's confirmed, remains to be seen.
Authorities say the area where those remains were discovered was previously underwater.
We're talking about water levels up above almost the chest area. Rattlesnakes, moccasins, alligators.
Authorities made the discovery Wednesday after the Laundrie family attorney said Brian's parents went to the park to search for their son after the park reopened a day earlier. Authorities then discovered skeletal remains next to a notebook and backpack belonging to Brian.
The amount of time that Brian Laundrie has been out there in the swamp and in that environment is probably longer rather than shorter.
Authorities used dental records to identify the remains. Brian Kensel, a retired special agent from the FBI Tampa office, explains.
Once you have an individual's dental records from their dentist, a forensic dentist can make an examination within minutes and be able to confirm or disprove an identity.
This ends more than a month-long search for Laundrie after remains belonging to his fiancée, Gabby Petito, were discovered outside Grand Teton National Park in Wyoming last month. Laundrie remains the only person of interest into her disappearance and death. The FBI says this case remains active and open.
They will still continue the investigation to try to determine what happened to Gabby Petito. Agents will continue to move heaven and earth.
The FBI has not yet released a cause of death for Brian Laundrie. Reporting live in Northport, Julie Salomon, ABC Action News.
Julie.
Northport, Florida. The FBI confirmed to reporters in Florida Wednesday that the investigators found what appeared to be human remains along with personal items such as a backpack, notebook belonging to Brian Laundrie, just hours after Laundrie's parents researched the Myakkahatchee Creek Environmental Park. These items were found in an area that up until recently had been underwater. Our evidence response team is on the scene using all available forensic sources to process the area, said Michael Fearson, special agent in charge of the FBI's Tampa division. It's likely the team will be on the scene for several days. He also identified Laundrie specifically as a person of interest in the murder of Gabby Petito. Fearson is no stranger to the case, as he was seen on September 20th at the Laundrie's Northport home as agents executed a search warrant. The FBI announcement came hours after it was revealed that some articles belonging to Brian were found while his parents, Chris and Roberta Laundrie, and law enforcement were searching within the Myakkahatchee Creek Environmental Park along a trail that their son was known to frequent. Sarasota County Medical Examiner's Office examined that they subsequently responded to the area at the law enforcement's request. A senior law enforcement source told Fox News David Spunt at the time that what appeared to be human remains were found at the site being searched by a cadaver dog within the park. As of Wednesday, the park was closed to the public, having reopened only Tuesday following a weeks-long search for the fugitive. The Laundries, who have claimed that their son went to Myopatchy on September 13th, the day he was last seen, left their Northport home just before 7:15 a.m. local time for the environmental park. At the park, 2 men in hiking gear, including at least one who later identified themselves as a law enforcement officer, began trailing behind. The Laundries and one of the men appeared to discuss a discovery before the parents left the park, which was subsequently closed to the media and the public. During the couple's time inside, Chris Laundrie could be seen continually moving in and out of the areas of the brush. After a short while, he and Roberta Laundrie separated, with Chris and the 2 men moving into the brush on the left side of the trail for approximately 12 minutes. Chris returned without law enforcement, and the couple continued on. The Laundries later discovered a white bag and a dark-colored object after traveling through a patch of brambles at the edge of the brush at a clearing. They then could be seen putting the object into a bag and handing it over to a law enforcement officer shortly thereafter, who later took it from them. On their way out of the park, the couple made a phone call and then received a call. Exclusive video obtained by Fox News Digital shows Laundries and the law enforcement officer huddling and speaking as the officers appeared to show a couple of unknown discovery. The officer appeared to tell the parents, "I think we might have found something." The officer could be seen patting Chris Laundrie's shoulder as he huddled with the couple. The couple later left the park at 8:45 a.m. The Laundries returned home shortly thereafter and appeared emotional when confronted by the protesters. Brian Laundrie has been named the person of interest in the disappearance and subsequent homicide of his fiancée, Gabby Petito. The FBI later issued a warrant for his arrest on charges related to his unauthorized use of a bank card. Chris and Roberta Laundrie said Brian, 23, left his family's Northport, Florida home on September 13th to hike the Myopatchy Creek Environmental Park located along the T. Marbury Carlton Jr. Memorial Reserve. The Laundries' attorney had initially identified the dates of Brian's disappearance as being September 14th before changing the timeline weeks later. Since his disappearance, state, local, county, and federal law enforcement have extensively searched the reserve and the Myopatchy, where Laundrie is said to have parked his car at the time. The family did not announce until September 17th, 4 days after he allegedly left, that he had not returned. Laundrie, 22-year-old Petito, left for a trip in mid-June when the plan to visit the national parks in her white converted Ford Transit. The couple had met years earlier on Long Island, New York, where they grew up and later moved into the Northport home with Brian's parents, Chris and Roberta. But Brian arrived back in Northport on September 1st with the van, but without Petito. Petito's mother, Nicole Schmidt, reported her missing to Suffolk County Police in New York September 11th. Search teams discovered Petito's body near Wyoming Grand Teton National Park on September 19th and announced shortly thereafter that she had been a victim of a homicide. Authorities later said she was found to have died of manual strangulation. Basically, what I would say for women, don't date men who are not willing to put you in a place to live. Okay? Don't even move in with a man. Okay? A man has to marry you, and then he moves you into his place that he found for you both to live. I'm doing this story because I have a daughter. That's why I'm doing this story. That's why. And always have somebody that you trust. If you don't have a father figure, have somebody that's a mentor that you could trust, and they could talk about the person you're dating. Tell them how that person makes you feel. Tell them the arguments you have, the person's background, and maybe that person could give you some insight on whether to leave that person alone, or what could be what could be some sound advice. I know I'm not going to be listened to by many people, but I'm talking to those that actually understand what the hell I'm talking about. Find a male mentor that could tell you how guys think, tell you the up straight truth. I'm talking to those women who are willing to listen to what I have to say. Because I really don't want this to happen to anybody's daughter. This is why I say what I say. Okay? Do not move in with a man that's not your husband. Make sure you can afford to you guys can move into your own place together. Make sure he has a history of living on his own. He knows what it's like to endure hard times and not break. Make sure he understands the value of money. Make sure he could control himself. He has a history of doing that. That's all I could say about this. Hope both families could heal from this. I know there's going to be some bitterness and some wars and lawsuits over this. If you don't have high self-esteem as a female, don't date. So you can see the BS a mile away. That man has to make more money than you too. All right. That's all I can say for now. Later.